Hey, welcome back to the Gamer Guide channel for some more Kenshi. This is sort of my first official episode of Kenshi 365, as I'll be playing straight through chronologically now, and maybe going back in time occasionally. But just to catch you guys up in case you missed some of the prologue episodes, last time we had captured some of these Empire guards, and these guys here are brand new. Newly recruited from them. Everybody else we've pretty much done away with, as our clandestine services picked them up. We also picked up this guy here. Merkins is going to be in a future episode, though. You're not going to do it this time. Both Lars and Cyberdax, our clandestine service guys, got recognized for their roles in taking out some of the slaver camps in the south, and all the jails have been cleared out of anybody left over from the slaver faction. And now on to some of the new places you haven't seen yet in Kenshi. This is the Green Keep and our agricultural center, and also one of our newest expansions for a city. Right now we're trying to build it up and add in a more industrial area. So before, just that little section up to near the bottom right here is what existed, but we've recently brought over 5 new people that came over from Guerrero, which is the Shek city that Tora the Fearless runs, as you might remember. But Garen the Guru and Jack, we also have Kyburn and others have come to kind of help out with the industrial side. So we got some brand new smiths here. We're going to have to keep an eye on them, see how they do, as they have been farming up until now, but we're going to cross-train them a little bit. Dre Lux, one of our shortest guys, is going to help us with some rum production here, and making some of this rum, so it looks like he still has to get some farming done. And then we also have a couple new weaponsmiths too, and armor smiths, so Firestarter and Fire Tender are going to help on top, making plate armor for the Green Keep. Now, the Green Keep is located right in the middle of the Holy Nation. Though we're not allies with the Holy Nation, we're just kind of amicable with them. Trying not to piss them off, but at the same time, we don't want to have to submit to their prayer day and stuff too. A lot of these buildings here too, you see, still need to be filled out, but we have all the building shells newly built up, and we have our power grid up and all that too, as you see, with all the windmills and walls. We're a pretty secure place here, and we have it all locked down. Elsewhere, though, we have some places you haven't seen, like this diplomatic station here at Mongrel with Sharika and Monica, and they basically just check the market for things like new weapons and limbs and things like that. So every once in a while, we'll check and see if there's any new crossbows or anything good that we can bring into town, as masterworks are still pretty hard to come by, so occasionally you'll find them for sale here. Looks like we got a specialist bow, but nothing too exciting there right now. But anyway, they're camped out here making rice bowls and stuff. Here's kind of where they are in relation. There's Mongrel, and over there's the Green Keep. So that kind of gives you an idea for 2 of the new locations that we'll be visiting semi-frequently. Also, one thing I want to do in this episode is we're going to get some of the diplomats out of the Shark, which is another little outpost here in the middle of the swamp. Pretty much these guys just farm and make rice bowls and sake and sell them out here. And we thought we were going to do some of the hound missions and stuff like that, but I think we're going to put off for a little bit doing that. So we're going to go and close up this little part of our diplomatic area. We'll just lock the door. And I think we're going to have both Meathead and Stubbs Mimosa go to the Green Keep, as we need a little bit more help there. And pretty much we can only use humans there because of the politics we have with the Holy Nation, as the Holy Nation's pretty speciesist. I don't know if that's the word or not to use, but they don't like anybody but humans. So we're going to take anybody human that we have left over and put them in the Green Keep for now, until we go to war, or if we go to war, I should say, with the Holy Nation eventually. Then we can switch it up. Then we can use different people there, as we will be trying to keep good faction relationships. So for now, I'm going to see if I can get Stubbs and Meathead through the swamp without getting killed. They have some combat experience, but they're definitely not ultra tough, so we're going to have to be kind of careful. And like I said, this is definitely one of the most dangerous places because there's all kinds of different factions. You got the Red Sabers, you got the Swamp Ninjas, and also the Red Spiders, or whatever they're, Swamp Spiders. Those are especially dangerous, and those are the ones that usually give me the most problem. But thanks to them, we have leveled up a little bit. Looks like we got some action going on here over at Guero. This is again the home of the Shek, and Tora the Fearless, who used to be the Band of Bones leader, is now kind of leader of this outpost here for the Warriors of Winds. Warriors of Winds is kind of the faction name I've chosen for the entire civilization. Right now we're also a little bit under 200 people. We'll be working on, I think, member 196 here in this episode. And it looks like we got some more of these. These guys don't learn very easily, do they? Coming in for the food, but little do they know, this is definitely not the city to pick on. Pretty much everybody here in Guero is an advanced melee warrior, and we have pretty good crossbow protection here too. And most of the enemies do kind of come for Guero that are tougher, like the Berserkers and Crawl's Sheykh Warriors will also come and challenge Guero pretty often. So we end up picking up a lot of recruits from both the Berserkers and Crawl's chosen. So up here, actually, these are 5 people that we've picked off. Defeated Crawl Warriors that we've converted over. Embers, Electra, Bertha, Joan of Heart, and of course Tora the Fearless is their leader. She's just doing a little training right now for lockpicking, as that's one skill that she needs to get on. But I'm going to gather them all up. Most of these people that I'm training right now are actually going to be diplomats for Swin, and not stay here at Guero, but just at the neighboring city. We have a couple of buildings over there that we want to go ahead and occupy with some people in Squin, even though it's not one of our controlled cities. We're really good allies with the Shek, and if we're going to keep someone in the city, I'd prefer it be other Shek, so we don't have any problems with speciesist stuff, I guess you could say, as Shek seem to get along best with Shek. Though we are kind of a multi-species society, we take all comers basically here. So we're going to go and take out a search party here. I actually have a special mission for these guys. So as kind of their initiation mission, I'm going to take Tora the Fearless and these 4. We're going to go out and we need to recover some pet crabs, believe it or not, that we picked up from the East Coast. We ran into a new civilizations on the East Coast that sold us some giant pet crabs, and we want to take them back to Guero here and train them up. They're a little slow right now. They're not very fast on land, so we're going to take the Shek over, pick them up, and carry them back home. So we're going over here, basically east of Black Desert City in the desert. There's the Gray Desert, they call it. So this is Gray Desert Tower, and here on top, this is Terran. He's actually the leader of Gray Desert Tower, kind of oversees things. Not a particularly good fighter, but likes to cook and has pretty tough armor. But he's the guy we've kind of appointed to look out for everything that's going on here. And he recruited some people here basically from defeated Sand Ninjas, or Cloud Ninjas, I think they're called. So Marissa, Levi, Dreamslinger, and Jinsi are all kind of new recruits. Jinsi is not a very good fighter. He's just kind of getting trained up. He was somebody who I think just drifted in, but the other ones are pretty well-trained fighters. And we got a pretty good facility here going on. It's pretty much a complete base in one tower, so we don't need to expand out beyond the way station in this particular instance like we did down at Wayfort, south of here. Because this thing has pretty much got everything. You got your beds, you got your jail cells, you have food production inside, and on the top we cook our meals. We also picked up a prisoner that I think we're going to try to convert here from one of the Blood Reavers. And so let's see about doing Blood Raiders, excuse me. So we want to go and recruit him. He's been in prison. He's got pretty beat up, and now it's been enough time. We fed him too recently, so he won't be all starving. But let's see if we can go ahead and get him in here. It says, if you're not going to kill me, just get it over with. If you're going to kill me, just get it over with. I'll ask him to see if he wants to join. He says, you'll feed me right. If you keep me alive, want to be useful, right? It says he'll take pretty much any food. So, and I got a little sample here for him. So, yep, he decided to join us. Let's go ahead and give him a haircut and a shave. There we go. And we'll give him a little confidence morale boost so he has a little better posture. There we go. Looks pretty good. Let's give him a name here, too. I think we'll go and call him Rosefall. There we go. And let's confirm that real quick. Let's make sure everything looks good. Yep. All right. Good enough. I'm not going to be too meticulous about it. But I think he looks better than he did before. All right. Let's go and bust him out of jail. Levi, where are you going to, man? You gotta let this dude out before he can help us. So we'll set him free. Let's go and get him some weapons and armor, as we had stripped him of his prior equipment. But fortunately, I know we had a shipment not too long ago here to the tower. So we should have some pretty good quality weapons and armor from the hub and from Peak Top Forge that Voodoo and Justice made for us. Let's see here. And then we also have some armor too, made by Wesley and some of our other guys. These fog masks are kind of our signature. They're really useful, and they cut gas and dust down so we can fight better. Plus they're armored. That's cool. He's got kind of a red-colored kilt. As the Blood Raiders, basically, that's their colors, red, so it kind of remind us that he started off as a Blood Raider. Alright, let's come down here. We got to find some weapons. Let's see what we got in here. Ah, this is a training chest. Let's look on the other side. Here we go. So we have, there we go, some different armor choices. I think we're going to go with the lighter armor, as this dust coat is better for people who don't have super high strength. I'm also going to take off the chain, and I think we'll switch it for this leather turtleneck. It's a little bit lighter weight, and so he won't get too encumbered to start with. And we'll go and do with the dust coat, as it gives you a little extra evasion and covers up more of your body too, so you don't end up losing limbs and stuff to swords. So we're pretty good there. We got good quality armor. We give them a pair of armored boots too, as our shims are exposed with the kilts these guys like to wear. Let's see what we got in the weapons cabinet. Nothing in crossbows, but let's see real quick what his stats look like. Rosefall is best at hackers, 25 on hackers. Looks like blunt, 24. Decent at everything else. His worst thing is 21 for sabers and katanas, but that's what we have handy, kind of for one-handers, so I think I'm just going to give him one of these katanas. But the hacker looks like will be his primary weapon. I do have one of those. Wow, edge type 2, so he's pretty lucky. Another edge type 2, wow. So he's totally tricked out for weapons and armor, unless I find some better masterwork stuff. But there we go. Okay, we got Rosefall kind of up and going. I believe his stats are pretty decent, as Blood Raiders are no slouch necessarily, so he should be able to handle his own basically and come out and help us with missions right away, which I want him to do, and I guess I'm going to go and get him started with training. By the way, these are the crabs that my Sheykh Warriors are going to get. Kraken, Sheldon, Whoopins. We bought those from the Crab Raiders, and we need to take them back west. It's my belief that if we get those to one of our villages, that we'll end up having to do special Crab Raider challenges. Well, they'll basically come and attack us, and we'll have to defend ourselves and with our crabs. And if we win, then we become their allies. I know it's kind of a weird set out, but that's the way I understand it. Having the crabs at the Guri Desert Tower doesn't count because we don't actually own the way station there. So we got to take them to a town that we actually own. So it looks like we came under attack here by some starving bandits. This should be pretty quick work, as all these guys are good fighters, and now they have high strength training and stuff too, so I'm not at all worried. But it is sort of a nuisance. Let's go and clean these guys up real quick. Looks like we're saving, so it's going to take a little bit. We'll get on pause. There we go. We did take a little hit there. Looks like Embers took a couple of damage from one of these sticks. But as you see, they were quickly dispatched, and the guy that came after us to initially attack us is running for his life. It looks like we broke both of his arms, and Tora the Fearless is hunting this guy down like a tiger. This is a little brutal. I feel sorry for the poor guy. He lost both of his arms. He can't fight us anymore, and now he's getting chased down by Tora, who is definitely a beastly warrior. She also has a metal weapon. I gave her one of the best sabers in the game, basically. And that's the end of that guy. Oh my goodness, look at his stats. He broke his head open with that saber. Lost both of his arms, and now he's just a splattering of blood. Okay. Pretty brutal, Tora. Alright, let's get him back together. We got to send him back out west, so we'll kind of collect everybody. Looks like we have a straggler too. Electra is kind of lagging behind here, so let me grab her and put her with the rest of the group. There we go, and we'll send him back out west. Alright, so let's see how we're doing here with getting Meathead and Stubbs out of the swamp. Looks like they're presently swimming through a giant pool of water. Not what I would have chosen to do. There's lots of land and ways to go around, but at least they're not being attacked by any of the blood spiders or samurai. So slowly but surely they're getting there. So we're about halfway through the swamp, and fortunately we have not run into any enemies yet, so we're kind of getting lucky. Here's another one of our diplomatic outposts. This one here is in Stoke, which is one of the United Cities, but we bought a house out in Stoke that basically we just have one person in, but there's enough diplomatic reasons to be here in Stoke. We have contact here with the Traders Guild, I believe, and some of the other factions too. You can find their diplomats at the bar. So we went ahead and put Nika here as kind of our second tenant of this outpost. It used to be Rhonda, but she joined up with the Warriors of Winds at the hub. So we just newly recruited Nika. She's not very skilled, and we do have the training facility inside while she's making these rice bowls, these Gohan bowls, to sell at the market. But we're trying to both craft and train her up a little bit, and then keep an eye on what's going on here in the United Cities. Looks like we got some action outside too. I see some numbers popping up from the prison, so that means that the United Cities is fighting with some other faction. So we probably want to investigate that a little bit further and see what they're up to. Up top here, you'll see I got a little farm going. We got a power generation facility. We have some other training parts. We can train strength and dexterity, a weight bench, and then we also have some crossbows, so people from the United Cities can come up and use our facility as kind of a guard place. Use our, as somebody just picked up there, use our harpoons to help out their cause. So hopefully that will keep us in better faction, or if we need to, we can use the harpoons too if we end up going hostile with United Cities. But so far, we're on good relations, and we're going to try to improve our relations here to this episode if we can find any opportunities to do that. One of the ways you can improve faction relationships is just by turning in people with bounties. You'll usually get a couple faction relation points. Alright, so let's see here. We got, looks like they're using these instead of as slave holdings, they're using them as prisoner cages, so that's promising. City Heroes, okay. Well, that's kind of an interesting faction. City Heroes are actually not good guys. They're kind of vigilantes, and oftentimes they'll attack anybody who's hyper or just different than them. So, yeah, they're kind of like the... yeah, they're just radical vigilantes, basically, that are not always, even though they're called city heroes, they're not always very heroic. However, I think I want to try to save one of these guys. We can recruit out of a prisoner cage, but the caveat is they got to be conscious, and everybody's unconscious or dead. So I'm going to try to heal this guy up so he doesn't die on me, as everybody else pretty much in these cages has been killed. As once you're kind of an enemy of the United Cities, they let you out of prison, they're just going to whack you in the head again. Is that guy the slaver? I guess not. He must be a United Cities guy, or he'd probably be fighting me right now. So these guys aren't slaves, they're just city heroes. So we're going to go and try to see if we can keep this guy alive, and we might come and revisit him when he becomes conscious, and see if we can't recruit him to help us out here at this diplomatic station, instead of having him be another casualty to the United Cities. And there's a couple different racks of cages here full of these guys, so we'll keep an eye on that. Alright, finally we got Stubbs and Meathead out of the swamp, and they're just coming up here to Guero. I want to try to get them a little bit better gear, as they have pretty decent gear. We ran out some supplies to them when they were in the swamp, but it's not perfect. We have a couple items that are just standard quality, and with all the epic and masterwork stuff we have, it'd be good to upgrade our gear. We do have a little forge here at Guero, where a lot of the Shek make chainmail and different weapons and stuff like that, and we just offload it here in this part of our building. So we'll bring Stubbs and Meathead in, Let's see what we got here to grab. Looks like Wayfort's under attack, but I'm not too worried about Wayfort as they come under attack a lot by a lot of farmers. And we have them all up on crossbow duty too, so pretty much they can defend just by using the wall defenses. Alright, so let's see what we got. We have a high-grade katana. We have a shirt that needs to be replaced, and also let's replace our boots here too. Instead of standard, we'll go with these specialized armored plated boots for a little bit better protection. Everything else looks pretty decent except for this katana, though I don't think we have any leftover katanas. These are all the two-handed ones, and then we have some crossbows here. These are all pretty good crossbows, though. Specialists are better. But he's all melee, so I'm going to go ahead and wait on that. I think what we're going to do is we're going to run these two guys over to Peaktop Forge, where we have a lot better weapons and armor made and a lot more of them to choose from. So we'll go ahead and get him equipped out over there. Alright, back here at the Grey Desert Tower, way station. We're going to go ahead and kind of see how we did last time with the clandestine services. They had gone to eye sockets and the slave farm, and we had taken out their Traders Guild kind of slave master, or the head honcho there, thinking we could take down their money by kidnapping them and getting rid of them. So I wanted to see how that turned out, as we haven't really gone back to check, and the last status we had there was that they're still owned by the slave traders. So I'm going to go and take the people, the warriors here from Grey Desert Tower, including Rosefall, who we just recruited, and we'll go run them over there and see how we got it. I think a small group of 4 should be enough to keep them from having too many problems with the locals if we do run into some raiders or some monsters that we need to take out. Dreamslinger's pretty good too, so we're going to bring her along. I'm thinking about maybe changing her name to Dreama too, but Dreamslinger is what I came up with initially. And it looks like we have all the crabs following Dreamslinger, so I'm going to go and take the crabs off follow on her, and let's gather up all the humans. I don't want to bring the crabs out as they're about to be picked up here by the Shek. I would have the crabs join these guys, but they're kind of slow, and that means I'd have to pick them up and stuff, and they'd probably be a little bit more of a hindrance at this point. Though they seem to be pretty capable fighters, they're just not very fast right now, so I'm hoping as we get them a little more training and a little more experience, they get a little faster. But for now, Kraken, Sheldon, and Whippins are going to have to just hang out here. And not only that, but the Shek are bringing these guys some food, as they seem to be pretty hungry guys. Alright, looks like our little outing of Sheykh Warriors are about to be attacked again, or at least I saw a flash of red. Oh yeah, we have a dust bandit in front of him, trying to lay the smack down on him, but that was a mistake. Let's go and put Tora the Fearless up against this guy and see how he does. Not too good, already got hit by 75. Oosh, 2 hits. And looks like he had a backup. Had a backup guy, but that was poorly planned out on their part. Alright, so we have successfully crossed the river and come up the mountain. We need to come over here to this way station as kind of our first checkpoint to get out over to where the Grey Desert Tower is. Alright, back to the Grey Desert. We have our outing of Rosefall and the ninjas. They're headed out across the desert here. We just kind of get them started. Don't see anything to be too concerned about, so we'll head back over here and see how Meathead and Stubbs are doing. Alright, they made it over to the hub in Peaktop Forge, so we're going to bring them up here to Justice's Forge and see if we got any weapons here that they can upgrade their gear just a little bit. And then we'll go ahead and send them out over to the Green Keep, which is just north of here. So fortunately, no problems at all with Meathead and Stubbs running into any enemies. So they've lucked out pretty much. And let's see, we have our signature turtlenecks. So we're going to take the standard grade 1 and trade in for the specialist grade. And I think instead of this iron hat, I'm going to go ahead and give him one of my fog masks, as it's just better to prevent poison gas and dust and all that. Though we don't have a lot of dust and gas and stuff out in the Green Keep area. Still good in case they ever need to go outside of there. They'll be ready to go. And let's see, we can also get him an Edge Type 1 katana, which would be great as a backup weapon. kind of primary melee, so we'll go ahead and do that here. I didn't see any that are edge type too. Those are kind of rare. So let's restack this up a little bit, trying to keep it semi-organized. We got some hackers and some polearm weapons here too. And we'll go ahead and sell the ones that are of lesser quality here in a little bit. I'm going to probably make a off-camera market trip selling a lot of these weapons and armor to the nearby cities, especially the Shek, as they're our allies, or to the rebel market nearby. I like that flared helmet. I'm going to go ahead and keep it on him, even though I thought about maybe switching to a gas mask. But again, he's going to the green keep, so he won't need a gas mask as long as he stays out there. And his other gear looks pretty good. I would like to see if there's anything else over here, though, for, I think it was boots I was looking for. So we got some other gear here that Leroy Jenkins helps make and does some crafting out here. Him and Wesley are some of our armor smiths. Leroy's a bit of a spaz, though, always getting us in trouble. So we try to keep him back here in the tower so he doesn't run into combat without everybody else. Alright, let's see here. We got specialist grade boots. Those are okay. Let's see if I can find some masterwork ones, though. There we go. See, the masterwork don't have any penalty to move speed, so if we switch those out, they'll run just a little bit faster. So I'm going to go and switch the other ones out for these masterwork. And everything else looks pretty good. We got supplies. Looks like we got plenty of medical supplies, and I know we have somebody making medical supplies out in the Green Keep too. So we're good on that. We're definitely going to be good on food out there as they're headed out to kind of the agricultural capital. There's Wesley real quick dumping off some armor. And Leroy's spazzing out. We'll go and get these guys headed back up north here. So that's our main city there, Peak Top Forge and the hub. And here's where we're going to, Green Keep. So we'll go ahead and send them out over there. There's not really any enemies between here and there that are of major concern. And kind of the worst we'll run into is Dust Bandits. And I think Meathead and Stubbs are skilled enough where they aren't going to die to Dust Bandits. They might get beaten up a little bit, but we can rescue them. So we have lots of guys out here between the Green Keep and our main city. So we'll send them out the sideway here. There's another little view from outside of the forge. Alright, let's see how we're doing. Looks like we have an enemy Bennett Camp that our Sheykh Warriors could fight. And I think even though they're going to be outnumbered, we're going to go ahead and try to clear out that camp. As again, these guys are elite warriors. They've been training up for a while, strength training, and they already had great combat experience. And with Tora, I don't think we'll have any problem taking out this camp of Dust Bandits. So let's go ahead and start the attack. We'll take these first couple of guys before the other ones come and get us, hopefully. I'm going to try to keep them together a little bit here initially. We've already taken out the first warrior with just a couple of hits. And now they're starting to come in. Alright, we got hit a couple times by crossbows. That's the one thing we're going to have to watch out for is we go ranged attack. And let's see, we got Bertha running in here to get the guys in the back. Ooh, one hit and they're down. 111. And it looks like we got 5 or 6 more guys running in and 2 crossbow guys up on the hill on top. And it looks like we also have 3 or 4 guys over to our right, or behind the camera right now, that might run in also and help. Alright, we're taking a couple hits, but our armor's really good on these guys, as we're all specialists or masterwork. And our warriors are really skilled, hitting them back 10 times harder than they're hitting us. Look at that block, that was real nice. Embers just took out a guy with 1 swing, 2 guys with 1 swing. Say, whoa, hold on a sec. This is the bunch that killed Marcus. Guess they recognized us from an earlier raid. That guy just hit me for 0 damage. That's not going to do it. And the other one's running off. Can't be, he says. Bonebray, you were going to pay? Is that what he said? Let me look at the dialogue here real quick. Oi, Bonebrain, you're going to pay for what you did. Well, you just ended up a blood splatter, so that didn't really work out for you very well. Alright, we're going to take Bertha up here on top of the hill and take out their last archer. And then I think we've probably killed everybody by now, as we're taking these guys down in 1 or 2 hits. Ooh, disabled both his arms already. Left and right arm are totally disabled. Head smashed in. Oh my god. This poor guy. Left leg done for. And then just chopped into a fine pace by the rest of our guys. Man, that's brutal. Just a scratch, no big deal. That was brutal. Well, they got a couple little hits, but look how little damage we had to us. The yellow part's what we just patched up. And again, everybody in my kingdom is a medic, and so basically that's one of the requirements when you join the Warriors of Winds. You got to become a medic, and you got to be able to take people to bed and rescue them from harm's way. All right, so we have them sent back on their way, and we have Stubbs and Meathead headed back north. So far, so good. I don't see any bandits or anything here, or bone dogs. That's probably the most dangerous thing, actually, is the bone dogs, not the bandits. But here in town on the Green Keep, looks like they're under attack by some of these starving bandits. I guess they snuck in the gate somehow. I think we have the rear gate open, so we're going to probably have to fix that up. Skeletoro and some of the other animals, though, seem to be taking them out. And Twitch, oh yeah, they must have come in the rear gate, because this is the tower by the rear gate. So we had a couple sneaky starving bandits come in and try to steal from our farms. But they should have just gone to the market and bought some food, or asked to join us. We'll take comers if you come and ask us nicely if you can join us. We still have about, 60, 70 slots open? Not quite 70 slots, I think 69 more slots open to join our kingdom. So I'll take drifters if they ask me nicely. Alright, we got some more starving bandits here. And let's see how Meathead does. Meathead's got a really fast crossbow, but a really weak crossbow. But he's not very skilled yet in crossbows, so I want to give him something that is basically like an Uzi instead of 45, where it does massive damage. So if we end up hitting Stubbs, we don't kill him. We just injure him a little bit. Alright, Stubbs got a little beaten up there. It looks like he took a couple licks. But he'll be okay. We'll put him in bed when he gets to the Green Keep. This guy's got obliterated, and Speedhead totally untouched. His little quick fire crossbow did a lot of good work right there. So we'll make sure to patch up Stubbs a little bit more when we get him into town. We're gonna have to reassign their jobs. And both these guys were farmers. One of them made sake in Shark, and the other guy was a rice farmer that made rice bowls to resell. So I don't think they're going to be doing that in the new town. They'll probably end up being a brewmaster, and the other guy will probably put on some kind of smithing. I want to get some more leather and armor smiths going here, so we can sell some of that equipment to our neighbors and make some extra cash. We're getting close to 3 million in credits right now, which is pretty good, and we have a lot of stuff stored up too that we just haven't sold off, so we're worth way more than that with just our assets. There is a nice shot of our city, the Green Keep, from up on the hill down in the valley. It looks pretty nice from here. So we'll march him out over there. I'm going to take a little time to get it across the valley. Alright, so our outing of Sheykh Warriors has finally made it to the Waste Station Outpost. And what we wanted to do here at the first little checkpoint is I'm going to go ahead and hire some mercenaries for Guero, just to kind of help out with security there. And also, if we can hire some of the tech warriors, they're sort of allied with us, or someone we'd like to become allied with. And so we try to hire them as bodyguards pretty regularly. And they're pretty well skilled. They're probably on about the same level as our Sheykh Warriors. They might not be quite as tough, but they're pretty good. Yeah, Tora the Fearless, she has like 55 attack, and I think they're going to be 45 or 50 attack. So we got a couple drifters here in town too, Cole, but these guys are so unskilled, I don't want to pick them up right now. But if we end up needing some fresh recruits or someone just to labor, we might do it. Oh look, we got a UC Diplomat. This is good to remember. So the way station here, right outside our territory, has a UC Diplomat. So if we ever need to try to fix relations with United Cities, we need to remember to come back here and talk to this guy. So we'll have to keep that in mind. We're going to go and hire these mercenaries here to go back to our town. And I guess we'll put them as kind of outpost guards for the next 8 days. So they'll head back out that way, out to the west. And we'll go ahead and head to the east again to pick up those crabs, along with our new tech hunters that will be following us. Hopefully they'll be able to keep up. Not that we need the protection here, but any straggling dust bandits or starving bandits, hopefully we'll fight our guards, and we can just kind of bypass having to deal with all those annoying little encounters. All right, next stop, Smuggler's Bar, which is again out to the east. And we'll probably stop there and see if there's anybody of interest to recruit. I think we've pretty much got all the recruits out of that place that were one of or special people to bring into the Warriors of Wind, so probably some generic guys. Alright, nighttime is finally fallen, but we got to cross the valley, and looks like Meathead and Stubbs have come in the rear entrance. And we're going to go and close that now so we don't get any more of those sneaky, starving bandits inside trying to eat all our food. And we'll send them through. Here we need to get to the other side of the town where we have some beds. We can go ahead and throw Stubbs in one of the beds here in the barracks. So this is. It's kind of the food hall. We make grog and rum there, and then we have a lot of sleeping facilities too for injured visitors or anybody in the town. And let's see, Meathead, we can go and get him respect here. So let's go ahead and strip out some of his former jobs. He would be, again, like I was saying before, I think Meathead was the guy who was making the rice bowls, and I think it was Stubbs that made the sake, if I remember right. But we're going to go ahead and put Meathead on, I guess, something more industrial now. Here's our supplies right now. We've been making iron and iron plates and steel plates for a lot longer than we've had anybody here crafting, so we're pretty much overstocked on all the steel and iron that we can get, so pretty much as quickly as we can craft weapons and armor, they're going to be replenishing the raw materials. And here inside, you'll see we got some clothing benches. I don't really have anybody on clothing benches right now, but we don't really need anything cloth, as we pretty much wear mostly leather and plate mail and chain. But we're going to send, I think we have our leather crafting facility up on the roof of the industrial complex here, which is just outside where we have all the steel and iron stored up. We still need to kind of finish out the interior of a lot of these buildings. A lot of these are just shells. But let's go ahead and take them up top here real quick. We got Knife making some leather. She's crafting up animal skins and collects them. And then Meathead can go ahead and make some of these ninja rags and stuff, which I like a lot. That and dust coats are kind of the two things I like to gravitate towards. So let's see here. Who else do we got? I need to go and switch these guys over too from Diplomats to our town, so I want to get a chance to take Meathead and Stubbs off Diplomats, put them in the Green Keep. So we're going to have him go ahead and make ninja rags, as that's one of my favorite light armors, and we have drifter boots, which we always use, and we'll do leather turtleneck, long sleeve undershirts too, as it's great under armor that doesn't weigh a lot. These guys are going to be absolutely terrible at making good quality stuff for a while, so we'll probably end up just having to clean out all these chests here. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and assign them to fill them up with the gear they make. And this is kind of not only our production area, but it's also our holding area for all our armor and weapons. Alright, we'll send Meathead up top. Meathead was actually his given name too, if you're wondering. I didn't call him Meathead. He came that way from the bar and Shark. So both Stubbs Mimosa and Meathead are native people from Shark that joined our faction when we had one of our clandestine service guys, I think it was Lars, going through there. He set them up. Alright, let's see here. Wayfort is under attack again, and again, I'm not too worried about it as long as they have crossbowers. We're in pretty good shape. Alright, let's go ahead and move Meathead up here to the Green Keep. I think it's this one here. Yeah, I see Bernie is one of our residents. Griffin is sort of the leader of the Green Keep, though John Palm also is kind of managing all the supplies, and also somebody from the Warriors of Winds that plays Crossout with me, so I made sure to put John Palm in there. Also Firestarter and Firetender are actual members from the Warriors of Winds who play Crossout with me, so if you recognize their names, that's why. Alright, let's see how Meathead does here real quick. Alright, Alright, Swift looks like he's good. I'm just making sure that they're not in too much problem, having too many problems out there in Wayfort. I have to jump over there and manage them. Let's keep an eye here on Meathead, see what he's up to. I have him also cleanup services, so he'll pick up any dead bodies and throw them in the energy creating kiln. And I know we had some dead starving bandits that came in here that just attacked us, so we'll go and get rid of their corpses. Looks like he's doing this job. It's kind of cool looking here at ground level, seeing how things look. Here's all our production facilities. We've got our iron making machines here, and then we have our steel machines. There's our holding, all our holding facility for steel and iron. All right, let's see. We're under attack again. Looks like they like attacking the Sheykh Warriors as they're out, venturing over to the tower in the Grey Desert. So let's see, who is it this time? Okay, we got a couple more starving bandits here. I guess we'll just finish them off real quick. Let's see if Johan can go ahead and take them out in a swipe or two. And let's see, Electra can hit the other one. Is it just those two, or do we got more behind them? I think it's just them. So we'll go and attack all real quick and take them out. Oh no, they got a couple buddies trailing behind. Seems like it's a very poor choice of targets to pick highly skilled Sheykh Warriors that are absolutely ripped in heavy armor with these huge specialized and masterwork weapons. I would not think that's a good target for starving bandits to hit. Alright, we haven't made too much progress from where we were last time. We need to keep heading west and get to that outpost or that bar. Let's see where you have to zoom in a little bit to actually even see it. Here it is, Smuggler's Bar. Bam. Alright, here we go. Keep going, guys. Don't give up yet. Here's the desert at nighttime. I don't see too many problems. It's a little safer to go and trek out this way at night, though, as this is absolutely populated by giant infernal lasers that will just burn you guys alive during the daytime. Alright, so our little team has arrived from the Grey Desert Tower to check out the slave camp. Looks like they went right in, and we would have known if they were here, as we'd be under attack right now. But yeah, it looks like that most of the buildings are destroyed. This little hub here is still in perfect condition, though. I wonder if they just didn't have destroyed building animation of the little swamp shack. But all the other major buildings are destroyed. And this is the place, again, last episode that we had come in with, I think it was Lars, who snuck in here and kidnapped the Traders Guild leader, and in hopes of kind of crumbling the town by taking away their finances. And it looked like it worked. We found a couple of abandoned slaves, though, in the building. I think it might have just been a bug, but they were stuck in the building, one of the broken down buildings. So I went ahead and grabbed them. Looks like our updated status is that there's still 7 Traders Guilds wandering around. I think it's actually more of the slaves that are kind of bugged and stuck in the building there. Not actually anybody from the slavers faction proper. I think it's just ex-slaves. But the 2 we could rescue out of the rebel we have over our shoulders. We're going to take them back to our base. Alright, we finally made it here in Shem to the Smuggler's Outpost. Let's just take a quick peek inside and see if there's anybody to recruit or anybody of interest. We have Stinks. Nice name. Didn't like their kid very much, I guess. They named him Stinks. And what do we got on this side? These are... Looks like some of the Grey Flayers. That's a faction out of the Shark. It's kind of interesting that they're all the way out here. But Grey Flayers are a rival of the Hounds, and not that we're going to get into that too heavily right now, but might be something interesting to visit in this series. Is I think we're going to probably ally with the Hounds if we have to choose between the Grey Flyers and the Hounds, as Hounds seem to be a little bit more civilized, I guess, or something, or just a little bit more willing to keep the peace, not so much about the murder. Okay, let's march our guys out just south of the way station. I don't want to make them go all the way up to the way station directly in a straight line, because we want to try to avoid the Black Desert if possible. There's lots of enemies like robotic sentinels and stuff in there that I like to avoid with this small group. Alright, we got Rosefall, looks like waist deep in sand, but we have a couple of rescued slaves. We're just going to take them back up to the beds in the tower, get them fed, and see if they want to hang out or if they want to take off. It's totally up to them. I know I could probably be cheatsy and throw them in prison or in the cages and then be able to recruit them off that, but they don't have very high skill set, and so I'd rather just naturally recruit them by letting them choose to join our faction if they want to. But we have plenty of Sheks and a lot more skilled off fighting the Berserkers and Crawls Chosen at Toro's village of Guero, so I'm not going to be too worried about recruiting more people outside of Rosefall for this particular episode. Alright, let's throw them here in the beds. We'll put in bed here real quick. And see if they stick around or follow us. If they follow us and they end up appearing in our diplomatic window down below, then we'll know that they're going to want to join us. Alright, this guy's a little hungry. We're going to throw him some food. So let's do that real quick. I think Dreamslinger has got half a rice bowl on her. Let's see. Yep, a little bit. And we also picked up some meat somewhere along the way. We probably need to get that cooked up. So we'll give that to Gills. And Gills immediately ate it, got up, and it looks like he is retreating fast. Oh, he's part of an outlaw faction. Okay, interesting. So he's not considered an ex-slave anymore. Outlaws, I don't think, are a friendly faction. So these guys aren't fully converted. But they're not mad at us. I'm sure they're thankful for being pulled out of the rebel. That's fine. Alright, those guys are out. They're outie. They're probably going to run back to that little outpost we just rescued them from, knowing how they operate. But we'll see. They're not stuck anymore, at least, so they can choose what to do next. Alright, so there's another town up north that we haven't checked out, but at least we know kind of now what happened to Eye Socket. That village is out of commission for the slave traders. They're not doing any more business out of there, which is great. That means there's no slave hunters out and around to raid us. And now we need to go see what the other village looks like, too, if we can put the marketplace out of commission. Again, we're trying to divide the Traders Guild and Slavers faction that basically work together from the United Cities. That's our ultimate goal. So we're going to try to take out the Traders Guild, which controls the Slavers faction. We also want to take out the Manhunters and anybody else who's kind of a related slaver faction. Though I think we're going to do the Manhunter fight in a upcoming episode. We'll probably have to take an army out there to do that. Alright, so we're sending out Rosefall and the Grey Desert Ninjas up north to go see how we're doing there. Look, alright, we got some enemies out there, but fortunately they didn't see us. And we had somebody else about to attack us. Oh, look. It looks like a Headless Robot. If we can get in a little closer and look at him. Yeah, weak thrall. I'm not too worried about it. We can just keep running and probably ignore it altogether, as it's not very strong. And yep, it's running the other direction. It's a lot smarter than the creatures that actually did have heads, like the Slavers and Stubbs bandits that constantly fought us. You can see a peek there of some of the giant lasers I was talking about. Those things will absolutely fry your soldiers if you're not careful. So I always pack med kits and splint kits when coming through here, and I try to come through at nighttime whenever possible. The way station ruins, actually those towers south of the way station ruins on the map there is where we picked up some of our robots recently. We got Ponk and I think it's something the False. I forget his full name, but a couple of robots from there. We actually didn't find Agnew, unfortunately. I don't think Agnew spawned in this playthrough, which is kind of sad, as he's one of the more popular characters. At least I haven't seen him in the game so far, unless he's somewhere else in this particular playthrough. Alright, we are almost there. Here we go. We've gotten to the Grey Tower, and we need to feed our crabs, which they all just ate some death switches out of our backpacks, so it's good they eat those things, as that's pretty much what we make at the at Guero, where they're going to be headed to. But we need these Shek to pick up these giant crabs, so we can march them back over there. Believe it or not, that's actually going to be faster than having them follow us. So we'll have Joan of Heart pick up Whoopins the crab. I love these names, by the way. And Sheldon, let's see. Embers, I think it's going to be strong enough to pick up Sheldon. So we'll try that real quick. Just grab a leg, Sheldon. They don't mind. This looks so ridiculous. I love it, though. And let's see. Bertha, you're a big lady. Go pick up Kraken. There we go. Little delayed graphic there, but they got their crabby pets, and we need to send them back over to the village. It's going to take a little bit of time to get there, though, but we'll drag our crabs through the desert here by their legs. This looks so hilarious. And hopefully that will start the faction encounter with the crab raiders. One of the reasons why I want to be allies with the crab raiders is I know that they have some blueprints for really strong armor that we don't have yet. And I'd like to be able to just buy that from them. And also want to be allies with somebody out on the East Coast. And they're like the furthest east faction that we could possibly have friendly to us. So we're going to try our best to not screw up everything and try to get the crab raiders to be our friends instead of another dead enemy faction like the blood raiders. Alright, here is the slave market that I believe Cyberdax ran into and snatched the slave trader out of her bed last episode. And it's locked. That's a good sign. Rosefall doesn't have quite the lockpicking skills as the other ninjas, so we'll have him just whack the gate a couple of times. We'll see what works. We'll either break the gate down or we'll get in another way. Go and use that new sword we gave you. See how much damage it does to the gate. Wow, 48. That's actually pretty good. But we got it open with conventional lockpicking, so no need to bust the gate down. Interestingly, all the cactus are still up and good, so but all the buildings are destroyed, so it looks like we did do our job here. I'm looking to see if any of these buildings are for sale, as if we can buy one of these buildings, we could take over the entire town. And this actually is a pretty prime candidate for an area to take over, as it has lots of farmland, lots of buildings, a good area inside to take over. So we might actually think about taking over the slave farm and making it our city instead of a slave farm. Let's go and open the rear gate. I don't see anybody in here. There's no leftover slaves or anything. I think everybody's dead. So we're just going to bust the gates open and hope that a friendly faction comes in and takes it over. Hopefully the free traders, as they're the faction we're trying to get to come in and unite with the United Cities. The free traders are a good group of folks, and we can tolerate their presence. So, alright, well, nothing really to speak of, but that's good. That's kind of what we were hoping for. So this should show as a dead city to the slave traders. We'll go ahead and march back over to Way Station, and I think the Shek are going to be taking off the crabs here soon. What'd you say? Hang. Better hope we have enough bribe money to survive this place. That's interesting. Bribe money, huh? Probably because of the slavers faction. You can probably bribe to get out of slavery if you get captured, I'm guessing. Alright, back here at the Green Keep, we're going to get Stubbs up out of bed, and we need to get him some jobs, as he can't be sleeping all day long. He is fully healed, though, finally. So I need to find him something to do. I did make a little bar here that also has a concealed skeleton repair bed. And seeing as the Holy Nation are against any other race, especially skeletons and hybrids and stuff, we have it kind of hidden up with the bar and brewery making equipment behind walls and stuff. I found that the Holy Nation never really goes to the second level ever. They always kind of stay on the ground floor. So we can have some hidden repair beds and stuff up top for if we ever have any of our army come through, they'll have a place to repair their robotic parts. But it's a great cover place to do some rum brewing and grog making, and I think in this bar we just make beer. So we're gonna put Stubbs on beer making. Maybe we'll call this the Stubbs Brewery here at the Green Keep. But let's go ahead and assign him to drop off some grog in these different storage containers and down below. And we'll go ahead and sell grog here out of this bar. And let's see, he's off to get some supplies. Let's see how Meathead's doing here. Looks like he's crafting away, making either leather. I think he might be crafting some leather raw materials to then make some armor. And Knife's just kind of hanging out. Huh, is she stuck or something? She's not doing anything, but she's also somebody who makes leather. Interestingly, she's got a lot of rotten meat she could be dropping off in some of the animal feeders. Let's see where Meathead's going here. I think he's going to drop off one of his new creations. Oh yeah, look, he made something. Ninja rags, made by Meathead. Yeah, crafted by Meat, it says. It's prototype, so it's terrible quality, but we kind of expected that, so we're going to be selling all that crap off anyway. And here we got our crabby pets, and carrying them like as you do, you know, by the leg and dangling them around through the desert. I'm sure they totally enjoy that, by the way. And then we have Rosefall and those guys coming back to the tower, kind of returning from their mission. And let's see what we can get them to do. We need to find Rosefall some duties too. Looks like there's some fighting going on here by the tower. I see some numbers popping up. So that means probably the faction guards here, the ninjas, are fighting someone else. Look like a lot of them are in bed. But let's see if we got some trouble brewing inside. We got someone down here, outlaw farmer, down outside. And look, he's got a almost $1,200 cat bounty. By the United Cities too. So if we take him back to the United Cities, we should be able to get some positive faction reputation points by turning him in, and a minute amount of money too. Not that that's really the reason to do it, but pretty much any outlaws you can bring to the prisons there will improve your faction relations with United Cities, and we need that right now as we've taken a little bit of damage from the United Cities just by fighting the slave traders, which are allied with them. So I don't need all these guys to do that. I'm going to probably put some of these back on the duties. I think Rosefall can probably handle this. So it's kind of initiation rites. We're going to go ahead and send out on a solo mission. And I saw Hang up north. I don't think I've actually been to the city of Hang yet. So, or Hang, whatever, I think that's how you call it, in the United Cities. Let's go and de-arm this guy real quick. But we're going to go and pick up this guy. We'll take him up to Hang, and hopefully Rosefall will be fast enough to avoid any danger out there. If we get in trouble, we can always just drop the guy in the dirt and run. But let's go ahead and patch him up so we don't lose some of our value, and we'll save his life at the same time. Go ahead and pick him up, and let's take him into Hang, and we'll check out the city of Hang and see what there is to see in the United Cities there, and see if we can get any indication of what's going on too with the slave traders and the Traders Guild faction in that city, as we'd like to weed them out of anywhere in the United States, so we need to see where they're still present. Alright, let's see, do we have anything else? We also could use a backpack, so if we find a place to buy some backpacks, we'll go ahead and do that there. So that's one thing. I try to always give the thieves backpacks to my crew, as it doesn't have any penalties and gives a little extra space for being productive. So there we go. So northeast looks like we need to head, and I think it's going to be night here pretty soon, so we should have the cover of darkness too to transfer this guy up there. Otherwise I might have brought some more of my soldiers along. And this game is pretty. It's not high-res graphics or anything like that, but every once in a while you see something that looks nice, like the night sky over the desert's really nice. Got some whipping winds in the desert here, and don't see much of anything of concern. There's a couple roaming faction bands I like to avoid down there, as that would be trouble if we run into them, so I'm going to take the high road here. Over this mountain, instead of going through the valleys down below, I see a huge group of enemies. But there's Hang. Looks like a pretty big city. Be interesting to see who all's in here. Well, so far so good. We don't see any Traders Guild guys or slavers. Just United Cities guys. And let's see what kind of buildings we have here. Oh good, the police station right here by the doors. So we can go and turn in this guy. We only had 38 hours to get the bounty turned in before it was worth nothing. And it looks like we are a -5 right now faction relations with United Cities, and that's fine as long as you're not in a too far of a threshold. They'll still treat you as neutral. Alright, we got the interior to load in here, and let's talk to this police chief and turn in this bounty, and we'll see how much that improves our faction relations. Here you go, police chief. We got a reward, and they took that outlaw off our hands. And let's look around the town a little bit. Oh, hold on. We are under attack again here. Tora the Fearless and her crew. Looks like just some more annoying starving bandits. They really like to screw with the Shek, don't they? So we're going to have to take them out real quick. As with our encumbrance from these crabs, I think we're a little too heavy to walk away from this without fighting. Those we'd probably just ignore these guys. Alright, looks like we're totally loaded in. Let's put down the crabs real quick and we'll have them help us fend these guys off. And then we'll pick them back up and head back over. Let's see, here we go. Put down all the crabs. Let these guys get a little experience from this fight. We have a mod on right now where pretty much any fight, even if they are weaker than us, still adds to experience if we defeat them. Hey, look within. They actually got a couple hits in. And our crabs are making short work of these guys. They don't hit as hard, but they hit really fast. And they're all but wiped out. Oh man. We just obliterated that guy's face. Stomach, chest, left leg, it's all destroyed. I don't like the look of this. I don't know if he's talking about himself or them. Good as new-ish. I left some of the little comments in this game. They did a pretty good job with the dialogue on this. As someone's leg goes rolling away. It's not one of ours, though. Alright, back at Hang. Let's see. Let's have a look around here. And also, yeah, we did improve our faction relations by 2 points. So every time we turn in a bounty, we get 2 more points of positive faction relation. I'd like to get that back to a positive instead of a net negative. So we're going to have to find some more outlaws to turn in as we're doing our raids against the slavers and stealthily taking out the Traders Guild. As that seemed to work better than just an all-out assault on their base. At least for these guys. For the Manhunters, I think we're just going to take them out with brute force. Which is not a problem, as we have plenty of army at this point in our civilization. Like I said, we're almost at 200 citizens. Of course, a small amount of those are animals, but even the animals are pretty tough. Even our goats can kick some butt. Alright, United Cities, who's this? Okay, we got a bar. And doesn't look like anybody's at the bar. Alright. Not a popular place to hang out, it looks like. Just full of dust. Full of sand and dust. Anybody upstairs? Well, welcome, friend, he says. Nope, just guards, looks like. I don't think that's a recruitable person. So let's see what else we got here. Got one bar. That looks like a residence hall. Got the police station. We have an armor shop. We have a farm shop. Interesting. Oh, and the farm shop's owned by the Free Traders, which is the faction we want. Basically, we want the Free Traders to come in and replace the slave traders. So let's go check out the farm shop and see what that's like. Seeing as that probably, I imagine, sprung up from us taking out some of the surrounding slave traders encampments. So there might be some special goods or people to recruit in here, hopefully. Well, he's got a couple pack animals. Let's trade. Okay, just general food and supplies. If we want to start a farm, we have cactus, we got rice, we got green fruit. So he's got everything to start a hydroponic farm if you wanted to. And oh, look, you can also talk to him again, and he has animals and a bone dog to sell. But I think we're good on animals, at least these kind of animals. We're going to work on training up our crabs to fight and get ready for the Crab Raiders raids after we get them back to Guerrero. We'll see how that goes too. Guerrero was such a long trek for the Crab Raiders to go that that'll probably be in our favor. They'll probably end up having to fight a bunch of bandits and enemy factions on the way to attack us at Guerrero. So that's kind of the plan. Though I do think I want to set up a new city out here to the east. Something that's not just the outpost or diplomatic outpost in Stoke. So we'll see what we can find. Here we have a ninjas tower, and we're allies with these guys, so we can trade with them, and we can also use their facilities. Let's Shinobi Trader, let's see what he's got, if anything good. A lot of times these guys have inexpensive ninja backpacks, and this guy does. Awesome. This guy actually got a lot of backpacks, so we can take some of these back for future recruits, as we pretty much always use these small thieves backpacks, kind of exclusively, unless we use the larger ones. Some of the clandestine service guys will use the large ones, as they usually take extra stuff like extra limbs or toolkits and stuff like that in their backpacks. And transfer all this over for weight, and let's keep looking around the town a little bit. That should be good. Got some extra backpacks for other people back at the Grey Desert Tower. And these are pretty much all the same, these towers of the Shinobi Ninjas, so I'm not going to bother with looking around their tower too much here, as I kind of know what to expect. What else do we have? There's some guy named Dirt. Man, these names, their parents just don't love them here in Kenshi. They call them all these horrendous things like Dirt and Stinks. But, and Meathead. Hey. I guess that makes them tougher, right? It's like a boy named Sue. From that Johnny Cash song. This makes you a tough son of a bitch if they call you something horrible like that. Alright, here in this other bar, I'm just looking to see if we have anybody recruitable or anybody of interest to talk to. And no, it's just all guards and empty spaces. So I guess if you have an army, you can bring them in here and get patched up. But nothing of interest. I was just kind of curious. I would think there'd at least be some drifters. Got another supply building here. Let's see who runs this place. Trade goods. Ooh, Traders Guild. Okay, these are the guys we're trying to get rid of. So the Traders Guilds are still here in Hang, which is interesting. So there might be something more we need to do to kind of get rid of their presence in the city. So we have the Free Traders and the Traders Guild in the same city. That's interesting. Let's see what else there is to see here. So that's... Well, it looks like we're being attacked again there. But nothing we can't handle. The Green Keep. Looks like Duke's under attack. And Peak Top and the Wind's Army too. But I'm not too worried about it. Those guys can take care of themselves. What is this Trader's Edge? I didn't see that earlier. That just popped up on the map. Trader's Edge. Traders, I wonder if that has to do with the Traders Guild. This might be one of their Traders Guild's outposts. Keep out of our way, nobility. Keep out of nobility's way, dregs. I guess we have some noble, Holy United Cities nobles. We got to watch out for those guys. They're pretty much assholes all the time, and they'll mess with you. So, whenever possible, avoid the United Cities nobles. Alright, what is this? Another residential building? That one's for sale, so we could buy that. 19,200, but I don't think I'm quite ready to set up shop here, though. We might need to bring it in. Oh, look, we got a whole other section of the city. Traders Guild headquarters. Oh, wow. So this bridge here connects that little tower we saw with Hang. So I guess this is considered a separate city. The Traders Guild part of it is separate from the United Cities part of it, connected by this bridge. But essentially, for all intents and purposes, they're the same city. Wow, look at all this. This looks like their faction headquarters. They got a couple nobility buildings here and a giant faction headquarters. And these are all heavy elite guards here too. With pretty good stats. That guy has pretty good fighting stats. 39. We have looks like a bank, general storage. A slaver shop with slaves in it. Wow, and these guys actually are mostly humans. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to deal with this place eventually. So I'm glad we found it, but this looks like the headquarters for the Traders Guild, so we're gonna have to come back to this, I think, in a future episode now, because we're already over an hour now of me playing the game. So I think I'm gonna call it quits here, guys. I'm gonna go and save. I'm gonna call this Wins Traders Headquarters Found, I guess I'll call it. And if you guys would, if you enjoyed this episode, please give a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. I'd appreciate that. And come join me next time for some more Kenshi 365. Of course, now we're, I think, Kenshi 367, as we've advanced 2 more days in this playthrough. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thanks for taking the time to watch my episode. Hey guys, Gamer Guide here, and there's an initiative I wanted to support that Mr. Beast had put out there. He's got a website, teamtrees.org, where he is raising money to plant trees. Every dollar donated plants a tree, and he's going for 20 million trees in total. With all the deforestation in California and the Amazon and stuff, I think it's a great initiative. Definitely helps combat climate change too, so we can make the earth less like Kenshi for our future generations and for us to enjoy as well. So it would mean a lot for me if you went there. I have the link down in the description below. Donate a couple of dollars, let's get a couple trees planted. I'm going to do the same, donating some of my money and also money from my Patreon supporters into that fund, and I'd appreciate it if a couple of you guys would go there too. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have any comments about Kenshi, leave it down below. Or if you'd like to also spread the word, have other YouTubers support Team Trees, that'd mean a lot to me too. Anyway guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next episode. But we got spotted right away. 3 guys at the front door, but the thing... 99,980 more trees, let's go! Yeah!